It is evening on the east coast of the United States. It is morning now on the Korean Peninsula. And specifically in North Korea, it is the morning of the birthday of Kim Il-sung, who is the founding president of North Korea. And that means Pyongyang looks like this right now. These are live images, actually. These are the first images we are getting in of what appears to be a very large commemoration. We're expecting this probably to be a large military parade that they will hold in Pyongyang to celebrate that birthday. They do something along these lines, at least something big every year on Kim Il-sung's birthday. But this year, North Korea has also reportedly been on the brink of possibly testing some new weapon, maybe a new nuclear device, maybe a new long-range missile that could conceivably transport a nuclear device far around the globe. The United States has sent what the president described as a, quote, armada to the waters off the Korean Peninsula. I'm not sure that's the word he meant, but there is an aircraft carrier group there. And this is a new American president who has been getting a lot of good press for shooting bombs and missiles places with not much notice over the last week or so. Could be quite a weekend. Joining us now is Sue Mi Terry. She's a former senior analyst on Korean issues at the CIA. Dr. Terry, it's really good to have you here. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Those images that we just saw from Pyongyang, is that sort of typical in terms of the way this holiday, is commemorated every year?
And they will have a big parade and they will showcase all their missiles and whatever they want to showcase.
And
holiday.
Is that an important, in terms of those parades, obviously they're putting on display what they want to put on display. Are they conveying implicit threats with those parades? Do they roll out new things that we didn't know they had at those parades?
Sure. So, for example, they can roll out an ICBM to show the world that it has an intercontinental ballistic missile that can reach the United States.
In terms of their missile capacity already, they have 2- and 3-stage ICBMs that they say they've already developed.
Right.
What's the state of the sort of U.S. view of that missile capacity? Do we believe they've got actually operational ICBM capacity?
Because they have not tested the ICBM that could reach the mainland United States, successfully tested. So we don't know that, but I think they're very close to testing it. Already our territories in the Pacific, including Guam and Hawaii, Japan and South Korea are all under threat, but they have not yet tested ICBM that could reach mainland United States.
In terms of this weekend, this holiday, this parade, which seems to be taking shape right now in Pyongyang, and the previous reporting that we've had that there was unusual activity viewed by satellite around some of their launch test facilities. As somebody who worked at the CIA on these issues, what do you think they are planning on doing? How much of an escalation, if any, do you expect from them?
Well, they are preparing for 6 nuclear tests. Although, because the whole world is now expecting 6 nuclear tests, they might not decide to test it this weekend. North Korea likes to be the one that surprises the rest of the world. And so they said they will test when they want to test. And there are other holidays coming up, like Korean People's Army anniversary late this month on the 28th. So they don't have to test the 6th nuclear weapon this particular weekend. But there are other things they can do. They can do a normal missile test that they've been doing before. They can showcase an ICBM. There's other things they can do.
There is an aircraft carrier that has been directed, U.S. aircraft carrier that has been directed there. We have seen, we have a new president who we don't fully understand either. He has gotten, I mean, it's weird to bring this up, but I think it's a factor here. He's gotten the first sort of 2 days of good press of his new presidency by doing taking military action against the Syrian government for the first time, taking military action in Afghanistan using a weapon that has never been used before. If this president is weighing, for whatever reason, some type of novel, newly aggressive military action toward North Korea, what are the options and what are the likely consequences?
He could weigh an option of intercepting a missile, or he could be weighing an option of striking nuclear test site. But I honestly don't think he's going to follow through with this. And this is a problem with the brinkmanship policy, because you're putting yourself in a bind. Either you have to back down, or you have to and sort of lose your credibility, or you have to, now you're stuck on a ledge and risk a military option, which is very, very risky. North Korea is not Syria. It's not Afghanistan. It's going to have devastating consequences. North Korea will retaliate to any kind of military option.
And they'll retaliate against South Korea.
absolutely retaliate against South Korea. North Korea has some 70% of its ground forces and some 50% of its air, and naval forces are deployed within 100 kilometers from the DMZ, demilitarized zone, that are separating the two Koreas. That's 60 miles. And you said there's 20 million people in Seoul. There's 28,500 American soldiers in Korea. There's some 150,000 U.S. expats in Seoul. This is why I just don't think this kind of brinkmanship policy it's just not a smart idea. It's gross miscalculation.
Even without a novel missile capacity, even without nuclear weapons, there are millions of people who are soft targets, who are within easy reach of the North Korean military if they choose to take that action. Sue Terry, who's a former senior analyst on Korean issues at the CIA. Dr. Terry, it's very good to have you here. Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right. Up next, I mentioned a little bit about this at the top, but we do have another breaking news story that we are covering tonight. Seems like Friday night stuff happens late into the evening. God doesn't want anybody to have Fridays off this year. We'll have more on that breaking news story straight ahead. Stay with us.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.